Hi, hello, and welcome back to another video and another training chit chat. Although maybe this will be more than training, because oh, that's the wrong key. We got a new trail place. You know what? I don't feel like we're taking that intro. This one's sticking. We got a new trail place today, and I haven't checked it out. I've seen the trailer, so I think I've seen all the items, but I haven't checked it out. I've done nothing. Because I was like, it's November, we're right in between two month-long events. The winter event is maybe even over a month long. I don't remember how long it usually is, but, we are the month in between the two, big events. So this tend to be kind of a boring month, but I felt like, let's, hang out. Let's have a little chat. I feel like it was a while. I did do a training chit chat during Halloween with the Halloween stuff and talking a little bit about Halloween. But this one is gonna be to do the trailblaze, which ooh, I like the background. Okay. Oh, I like how that it becomes like film. Done intention, obviously, but that's pretty cool. Okay, yeah, we're gonna collect those that we get for free. But yeah, as you see, I hadn't started this yet, whatsoever. Because, it is, as you see here, it is, 11:22 a.m. on Wednesday, the 5th of November, 2025. So, this is the very first day. I haven't done anything with the Trailblaze. And I was like, let's see how far we can get today. Let's just hang out, let's chat a little bit, have a chill, cozy day. Let's see how long we go for. Maybe half an hour, maybe an hour, we'll see. So yeah, let's get started. I have, as I mentioned in at least one, if not two or three of my Halloween videos, moved back home. I missed it. I don't know how long I'm gonna stay here now, or it's probably gonna be months. This is my home for a reason, right? I have always felt there was home. I really enjoyed living in Valedale, actually, a lot more than I expected. But the moment I came back here, I was like, yeah, but this is home. This is where I belong. Alright, okay, actually, we do get trailblaze points for doing daily care of horses. So maybe we should go to Valedale and craft some hay, and then we can do daily care of horses I have in the stable. Or maybe we should just start. Let's do what we want today. It's a chill day. No, let's, maybe you're training too, putting on in the background. I love to do that, have videos of other people training just on in the background. Sometimes I use the pop-out window. I only have one screen. I know a lot of people have multiple screens, will have a YouTube video or a movie on the other screen, but I don't have the desk space for two screens. So I have one. Sometimes I'll prop up my phone or my iPad as a second screen and watch a movie or YouTube video on that, but ad blockers don't work on the app. They only work on web. So I mostly watch on my PC. Because YouTube have so many ads today. It's insane. You'll have 4 or 5 ads in a row, and sometimes multiple of them are unskippable. It's unbearable. Back in the day, I'd be yeah, I can watch an ad. If the creator is big enough, they get money for it. Fun fact, if you didn't know, you need to have a minimum of 1,000 subscribers and at least 4,000 watch hours, I think, before you can monetize your YouTube channel. So, and watch hours is how many hours in the last 365 days people have spent watching your content, both old and new. So, it actually helps people when, if you watch a video to the end and stuff, because it's not just how many like subscribers, it's also how many hours people have spent watching your content that counts. But that was not what we were supposed to talk about. But yes, like most people on YouTube, they can't make money off of it, right? So like when you're watching a creator like me, like I have 50 subscribers and like I think around 50 watch hours. No wait, I don't have 50 watch hours. That's like every one of you watching an hour of me a year. That's not correct. I can't remember exact number. But should we try to dressage? It's been a while, but I kind of want to do it because it's good XP. But if I fail, that's it. Like no second chances today. I lost what we were talking about. Like what were we talking about? Yeah, when watching a creator like me, like feel free to skip ad. Oh, this horse doesn't have a trot. I forgot. That rhymes. But watching creators like me, where you can see like I have, I think 54 subscribers. Like feel free to skip ads. Use an ad blocker. The only one who's making money of those ads you're watching when you're watching my content is YouTube. Is Google. They don't need all that money. They have money. Trust me. So yeah, like if you're ever watching someone that has less than 1,000 subscribers, it's impossible for them to make money off of ad revenue. I should not say it's impossible for them to make money. They could obviously have like sponsorships, but perhaps that they can make money off of, or like affiliate codes and stuff. But they can't make money off of ads. You don't need to actually watch ads when you're watching someone who has under 1,000 subscribers. It's harder to tell about watch hours. Like there's no way you can publicly see, I think, how many watch hours a channel has. And usually people reach 1,000 subscribers before they reach 4,000 watch hours. But okay, this is the part where I always fail. But it will like be like, oh yeah, you didn't actually complete this part. So let's see. Can we do it? We did it! Nice. Okay. I haven't done this in like a month because I kept failing at that part where it's like I completed it and then it'd be like, you forgot to take this like checkpoint, and I had already taken it and it was weird. The dressage is very buggy in this game. But yeah, what were we talking about? Talking about ad revenue. Yeah, I was talking about like watching stuff. I love having videos of people training their horses on their background when I train my horses, because like I don't know, it's like we're training together or something. And I actually rarely train together with people. I sometimes train with Bella, not a lot. But we do occasionally run, like if we're already talking for some reason, like we usually just do our own things and talk. But sometimes I'd be like, you want to run races together? Especially if she needs to train horses. If you think I have a horse buying problem, you should look at Bella's stable. Because she buys every horse I buy. No, not every horse, but she buys like the ones that are auto buys for me are obviously horses that are retiring and limited edition horses / magical horses. She buys all of those, and then I don't think she. I know I'm calling you out, Bella. I'm so sorry. Please don't hate me. Please don't show up to my house in the middle of the night to scare the living daylights out of me. But she buys horses, a lot of them. So sometimes be like, yeah, you need to train horses. Sometimes I literally train for her. You haven't seen me do this. I have a training chit chats from earlier this fall where I help her with a previous trailblaze. So yeah, like I train for her too. If I don't have horses to train usually, that was because she has a lot of stuff going on in her life right now. So right now I'm not enforcing any training for her because like real life comes first. I'm like her star stable personal trainer, but like for training horses, obviously. And she is my social media manager. I mean, that sounds like a fair exchange relationship. Friendship, I guess. Yeah, someone you've been friends with for 23 years. I'm pretty sure that is a friendship. Kaisa, get your head on straight. But yeah, I mean, we bring different things to this friendship. Okay, we finally got the first one. We got one of those bottles. I'm not gonna use that on Summer Dream because Summer Dream is a Gen 3 horse. I'm gonna save that and use that on a Gen 2 or Gen 1 horse. But yeah, I keep forgetting what we're talking about. I'm pretty tired. I woke up. I was supposed to wake up at 7:30 and I woke up at 8:20. I don't know how I didn't wake up with my alarm because I have one of those alarms that also like turn on lights. So I can tell if my alarm went off and I didn't wake up because there would be light around me. And I'm sorry, my cat is screaming. I have to go check out what he's screaming about. Okay, I am back. I have no clue what my cat wanted. He seemed to just want to scream. Because he was like on the floor rolling around screaming. And then he saw me and he got up and he looked at me, bit my foot and ran off. Or ran off, he climbed up his cat tree. And then everything was fine. He was just sitting there like completely normal. Like, no, I was not going insane. I mean, biting feet? That's a weird thing to say. But biting feet is a normal thing for Zephyr. That's my cat's name, by the way. Because my dad loves to, like, play with Zephyr. Like, using his... Like, my dad uses his foot, like, to taunt. And then, like, Zephyr is allowed to, like, bite him and like hold on to his foot with his claws, like my dad allows that. So like he's a little bit feral sometimes. Like if you will never come to visit me here because you don't know who I am. I guess Bella, obviously Bella is watching this or listening to this at some point, does know where I live, have been there in the past, will be here in the future, knows my cat personally. She also knows he bites feet. Because my dad taught him it's okay to bite feet. It is a little bit of a problem. But yeah. Anyway, I can't remember what we were talking about before I had to go see what Zephyr was doing. We were talking about friendship. I was talking about Bella and horse buying problems. Because I do have a bit of a horse buying problem. But it's also like I'm not gonna regret buying horses that are retiring. I don't really regret buying limited edition don't think I've ever regretted a single horse purchase I've ever made. So. And I'm an adult. I'm allowed to spend my own adult money on what I want. It was more difficult, obviously, when I was younger. I used to originally not be allowed to buy star coins whatsoever. It was kind of like, no! We're back. Hello. I got a network error, which you probably saw. Horrible timing, and then I had some struggle with my microphone afterwards. Where it wouldn't record sound. Or OBS said it picked up sound, but then there would be no, like, voice in the recordings, only game sound. So then I had to fix that, but I'm back. It didn't take that many minutes. I have had that problem before, just that I didn't notice until afterwards sometimes, so I have a couple of videos that just like sit in a folder because they don't have any audio. They weren't very fun. But yeah, where were we? We were talking about star coins. Yeah, I wasn't allowed to buy star coins when I started playing. That was like one of the like not caveats, how you say it in English. Like when I was allowed to play this game, there were a couple of reasons my parents let me. I was 13 when I started playing, and it was both start playing and also like buy Star Rider. I could only buy Star Rider because I used my Christmas money because I bought Star Rider right after Christmas. But if Star Stable had been a Swedish game, they wouldn't have let me because my parents are the opposite of tech savvy, and they have actually like genuinely after they like kind of loosened this rule for both me and my brothers of like we were allowed to buy stuff digitally. That was the thing. We were only allowed to buy stuff. We could go into a store, so I could only have games for like my DS or my Wii and stuff because I could buy those physically in a store. Obviously, you can't buy Star Stable physically in a store, so I couldn't have it originally. But then they were convinced because Star Stable is a Swedish company, so they have to follow Swedish law, which my parents have a bit of familiarity with. Especially consumer laws, because we're taught those in school. I say is I don't remember everything they taught us in school, but yeah, they start teaching us like consumer laws in home ec when we were like, I don't know, 14, 13. But yeah, like my parents have had problems later on when like my brother were allowed to buy video games for like his PlayStation through PlayStation Store, which obviously isn't Swedish owned, and there were like complications, so like I guess my parents had a valid reason. But yeah, I wasn't allowed to buy Star Coins. I was allowed to buy Star Rider, and then I would save my Star Coins. Eventually, I was allowed to start buying on double weekends if I had my own money, and my parents would like help me. I would give them the money I had, and then they would like buy it for me using their debit card. But obviously, since I turned 18, I have, you know, had my own money. I've worked a couple times. I got my first job when I was 16. Yeah, like so around 16, like I had ordered bought Star Coins a couple times before then, but around 16 I could start buying like Star Coins more frequently. Still needed my parents' permission and help to do it. Because even when I got my own like youth debit card, I wasn't allowed. It wasn't like enabled for online purchases, only store purchases. So once again, I couldn't buy stuff online without parental supervision until I was 18. But like pretty much the only thing I bought online is Star Coins and a few some like Sims expansion packs and stuff when I was younger. But yeah, so like I used to have to save a lot of Star Coins, and I would therefore pretty much the only thing I bought with Star Coins were horses, and mostly like limited edition horses. Obviously, I was very lucky when I started playing that there were practically no limited edition horses. Like the first limited edition horses released in June of 2016 when I had played for about 6 months. 6-7 months ish. So obviously and also like those horses costed 300 Star Coins each. It was the Nixies. There are 3 of them, or were there. I mean, they're still in the game, you just can't buy them anymore. But they costed 300 Star Coins each, and the same week they released, they also had a Star Coin code that gave 600 Star Coins. Or was it like 399? I think it costed 399 Star Coins. So you could get a full horse by just that Starcoins code. Because sometimes we get really big Starcoins codes in the past. But that being said, like with all the tiny codes we get nowadays, if you use them all, which obviously requires that you keep an eye on their social media or other people's social media, we do get more Starcoins a year now. Because back then we would get maybe like one Starcoin code a year, and I don't think we ever got one larger than SSO Inferno, I think the code was in all caps. It doesn't work. It's been 9 years. Almost 9.5. It has expired. Trust me. I mean, feel free to try. SSO Inferno, all caps. But trust me, it has expired. But yeah, so I used that code, and then I used like I bought Star Rider when there was like a deal where you got like I think double the amount of star coins that you usually get when you buy Star Rider. And then I saved, so I have always had this rule that when I want to buy stuff, I need to have minimum 3,000 star coins plus the thing I want to buy, because then I have like a 3,000 star coins buffer for when stuff like that happens. And obviously that served me well until I was old enough to buy star coins, and obviously that would not serve me well now, because obviously just the Halloween horses plus their pets would be like 3,000 star coins. And then I wouldn't have enough for the winter, so like I wouldn't be able to do what I do now if I were still a kid. I do love all the magic horses. I am a huge magic horse enthusiast. But I know how much I would have like been jealous if I was a kid now and I couldn't get them, and I was watching all these people get them. So I guess it's a little bit bittersweet that way. But yeah, I don't know like I keep getting into all these topics, so I was gonna be like, oh yeah, I can like update you guys a little bit, because I haven't had this type of like sit down talk video in a while. But I keep like I mean I like talking about my memories of the game. I know like some of these things, especially like I have talked about the Star Split Inferno code at least once before. Like things will be repeated. The things I remember the strongest, I can't help that. Like, and I know the same when I'm watching other people, they will recount the same memories, the same tales over and over again, especially these people I've been watching for almost 10 years now. I have heard some of the same stories maybe 5, 6, 7 times, if not more. But it doesn't really bother me, so I hope it doesn't bother you that I keep telling the same stories. Maybe Bella's out here, because she has already heard some of these stories many a time. I mean, around the release of the Nixies when Bella started playing. Actually, it was there in summer of 2016. And she had a bug in the beginning where... So this is still a thing, I'm pretty sure. And non-starters can't use the trailers. They're only for Star Riders. And after she bought Star Riders, she had a bug where she couldn't use the trailers for a long while. So... And I often forget this. And then I'd be like, yeah, why are we taking trailers? Like, we can save money. It's not that far to run. And she'll be like... I didn't have this privilege originally. I'm gonna use it. And I was in there, it's like, huh, what are you talking about? And she'd be like, I couldn't use the trailers, remember? And I was like, oh, right. Because it's been 9 years. And obviously, like, that wasn't my experience. I could use a trailer. It took me a long while to start using them. I am not such an old player that I played back when one trailer ride was like 1,000 Jorvik shillings. Wait, they're here? Still? Are they permanent? I mean, that's cool. That's cute. I like him. Pepita is such a cute horse. And Wooddeer too. But, yeah. So there are so many memories. And I want to do like a dedicated memories video, but it's so hard to like remember or talk about. Like I've talked about Bella so many times that we together kind of need to sit down and talk about like our memories from the game. And I also kind of need to go through my photos because at least from around 2017, 2018, I have so many photos of this game. Like obviously I didn't start my Instagram until 2021, and since then a lot, but definitely way off from all. Like I have very minor part of all the photos I take in game end up on my Instagram, but I do have photos on my Instagram as well. But I haven't counted them in like a year and a half, 2 years, or counted. I right click the folder and goes to traits, and then I look how many files are in the folder. You don't need to count how many files you have in the folder. But I haven't done that for my storage stable photo file on my external hard drive for about like a year and a half, 2 years. And last time I did, I had like 42,000 photos, I think. So I kind of need to go through that and also like delete duplicates, because I do have a lot of duplicates, especially of like dialogue. That's like the big just chunk of stuff I have photographed is dialogue. Since we got the photo function, I have photographed pretty much every quest I've done on both my main and my alt accounts. Sometimes I didn't save. Because I've had bugs where like photos wouldn't save when I took them. So like not everything is there, but I have a pretty extensive like record. And if I just go through it, sort it, remove duplicates, so like trim it down. I used to be good at this, and I sorted them into their specific subfolders. Yeah. But I have a lot of photos, and I should probably go through it and, you know, then have a video and like we can talk about stuff, about old quests, about old areas, about I don't know, everything and anything. I remember when Jorvik City released. I remember when Southhoop released. That was before Bella played, actually. I explored that with our other friend, Delphi. Or Delphina. And I was still a pretty new player at that point, because that was spring 2016. And she had unlocked Epona. I hadn't. That was, other than Southhoop, the newest area. You need to be like level 16. I was not level 16. And this was before, like, obviously when you get to Epona now you can build a bridge up to Southhoop. That wasn't a thing yet. That came a couple of weeks / months after the release. I think they came like that summer. So yeah, a couple of months later, I would say. And I remember Delphina like accidentally walking too close to the edge of Southhoop Peninsula and like falling down into Epona. And I think somewhere on the phone I had back then, which was my Samsung Galaxy S3, I'm pretty sure, which was like my first proper smartphone that I got when I was like 10. I have like a blurry pixelated photo of my laptop screen, which was also my school laptop that I was playing on at that point. I didn't have my own computer yet. Like taking this photo of her, and she was riding a Yen 1 fjord, which was like the only fjord in the game at that point. This was like during Yen 2 of horses, and which back then we just called new because we only had old and new. It would take until a while into Gen 3 before we got the terminology of what was Gen 1, Gen 1.5, Gen 2, and Gen 3. I remember that photo. I remember the Spirit Riding Free event, which led to me watching the Spirit Riding Free show. I can remember when the books were announced. I can remember my mom, who had like this magazine, like horse sport, I think, magazine. Or maybe it was the Farmer magazine. I can't remember. But I can remember like she had it, and it was like this article with Helen and Adrian about like writing this stuff. This is before the book's released. And my mom came in and was like, oh, it's about this and this, and I remember like reading the article because my mom came to show me because she recognized it at Star Stable and she knew that was the game I was playing. I can remember reading the first book and bringing it to school with me and sitting on the floor opposite of where me and my friend's locker were. And sitting there and like reading that book and just being like in awe of like the intro of the book and like reading paragraphs out loud and some of my friends being like, please, 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 I'm not interested, and me being like, you have to be interested, I don't know what to do with this. Like, yeah, I was just 15 and very happy. But yeah, I guess this does lead us into the theme of books, and if you've been here any amount of time, you know I love to talk about books because I'm a big reader. I did talk about books like 2 videos ago. Just a little tip, by the way, for anyone who wants to earn shillings. Fishing is great. I don't fish on Tuesdays. Most other days I'm okay fishing, but if I don't have any, the 2 days you should try and fish are Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. And Wednesdays you also take this other little quest. But on Fridays, you go out fishing here on the pier. Super close by. And you get loads of shillings. You get over 100 shillings for doing this. Now on Wednesdays we're gonna go over there to fish, and then we're gonna go obviously over to the races, and on our way back we're gonna do this other quest and, you know, have it in and get a bunch of shillings. And on Sundays it's here on the bridge that you fish, so it's on your way to do the races anyway. It's a little tip and trick that I've been doing for many years. Not every week, but I do it a lot, especially when you want a lot of shillings. But back to books, because I'm very excited, because I posted about this on my Instagram when I started using the app, but I mostly use the web page anyway because it's easier with translations, because it's in English and that's not my first language and I'm dyslexic. But I started using Pagebound, which is like a book tracker social media platform that is like totally AI free. It's anti-AI, and it's also created by 2 women. So it's pretty cool, and I wanted to try it out. I've never used any book tracker. I've never used Goodreads or Storygraph or anything like that. Or Fable is one too, right? I've never used anything like that. And I have solely kept track using my reading diary, and I still do that because there are books I read by like Swedish authors that are a little bit older that don't have Goodreads pages. So and that's the thing about Pagebound, is like if a book isn't Pagebound, you can like add it by pasting in like the Goodreads link, and then it can be added usually. But if it doesn't have a Goodreads page, you can't do that. So some like older Swedish books don't have Goodreads pages, so I can't add them. So when I read them, I still want to, like, for example, this year I've read 95 books, but my Pagebound says I've read 93 because 2 of the books I've read, they're not on Pagebound and they don't have Goodreads pages, so I can't add them. But I've been enjoying hanging out with Pagebound and like tracking my reading and seeing what other people are reading and finding lists and quests and stuff. It's really fun. So, I mean, my current read, I have 2 current reads. The first one I'm reading, I was planning to read in October, and I started on the 31st. So, I mean, I did start in October, I just didn't finish it. And it's a book I bought earlier this year on the book sale. The Swedish people know which one I'm talking about. It's the bookseller book sale, but it is a huge book sale, like all major booksellers in the country participate in. And you can get like books really cheap, both like hardcovers and also sometimes books in English, like this one, which is like expensive because they're imported. But I am reading Fake Dates and Mooncakes by Shirley, and it's fine. It isn't bad, but like I feel like everything is like I'm on like page 200 of like 260, I think, and I feel like anything that is even partially conflict is like resolved in like 2 pages. So like I'm not, it's not that I don't enjoy the book, because I am enjoying it, but I feel like, one, I think this book could have done with like 100 more pages, and I'm saying that someone hasn't finished the book, but 100 more pages, and then like a little bit more fluff. Like sometimes books have too much fluff in between what's actually important in the plot, but this one has too little. Like conversation feels off because it just feels like they're telling each other stuff right out, which like good communication but doesn't feel realistic. So I feel like just it needed a little bit more fluff or filling or whatever, filler, I guess you say, not filling, filler. Because everything is happening very fast, and then it's like resolved very fast, and it kind of feels like it would need 100 more pages, and a lot of that would just be not adding 100 pages to the end, but just like making the bits and pieces around the entire book like a little bit longer, a little bit more fleshed out, I guess, and fluffy. This is a debut book. This is this author's first book. So, I mean, that could have changed with future writing, but it also isn't a writing style that makes me be like, oh yeah, I really want to check out more by this author, so I'll see if I ever do that. But, so yeah, it is cute, and I'm gonna finish it, but everything feels like, yeah, it feels like there's no real conflict in the book. Because, like, the thing I thought was gonna be the conflicts, both of them, like, kind of like, they happen, and then, like, 2 or 3 pages later, they're resolved, and then it's kind of like, oh, they're just dropped, like, nothing about it lingers. It's like, oh, it's one and done. So it kind of, it feels very, like, choppy, like, it's different parts, and they're, like, they're connected, but they're pretty separate from each other, and they don't really tie over. And things are dealt with in the same parts of where, like, if it's introduced a problem, then it's like dealt with before we go over to the next part, and nothing is allowed to linger. And it's a very anxiety-free book in that way, which is good for me in certain times. Like, some of my favorite books are just like books where not much happen, but it's like it's a person in a stressful place, and then like by the end of the book they're in a better place, and there's not much really else that has happened. It's a lot of like inner thoughts, and I like books like that often because I kind of need those calm, happy, I guess, books for my own mental health sometimes. Understanding that they're definitely not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Like, I can love this book and it's going to be one of the best books I've ever read for me personally, but that's because of my life and the things that happen in it, and that sometimes I just need a book that won't trigger one of the like thousands of different things that can trigger me, and that basically ends up with me having a book where nothing happens, but when nothing happens is executed well, it is still very enjoyable for me to read. This is so confusing. A great example for me, I guess a lot of the stuff does happen in this book though, but a great example is a book I've loved since I first read it when I was like 14, which is Hazelwood Girl by Judy May. It's a very short book, and the entire book is told through the protagonist Poppy's diary. Like, everything that we see happening has already happened. So we are just reading Poppy recounting what has happened in her diary. And it is about, like, I think she's also 14. Or maybe I just imagined as 14 because I was 14 when I first read it. But they, like, her family live on this farm. They moved away from countryside to, like, her dad's cousin's farm to help him out. And like, Poppy has been miserable. She was immediately made, like, the outcast of this area because she dresses the way, like, she dressed back in the city or whatever. I don't really remember, but she feels like an outcast. No one wants to hang out with her, and she feels like no one ever listens to her. And then she starts to write this diary, and then she starts to, like, explore more of the farm because they've only lived there for like 6 months or something. When she starts to, like, explore more around the areas of the farm, she finds this little, like, she calls her Hazelwood, and that's on their property. And then one day when she returns there, there's a letter hanging in the tree, addressed to the Hazelwood girl, so which she figures out is her, and it contains, like, these, like, questions or, like, little simple kind of mundane missions for her, and she starts to complete them and leave, like, answers in the trees to the spectators. She dubs this person who leaves these notes, and then, like, through doing this, she starts to interact more with people around her, and she starts making friends, and it's just it's a very happy book for me, and it's a very short one. And obviously, like, whenever we're told about stuff, we already know kind of the vibe, if she's upset or if she's happy or whatever, because she will start with, oh my god, like, you can't believe it happened today, or she'll be like, this is the worst day ever, and then she's gonna tell us what happened. So I really enjoyed the book, and now I want to reread that because it is, like, one of my comfort reads. We're almost at the third one, which is Free Stable Care, and that's never wrong. So I do like that, but this book feels like nothing is happening, but it doesn't leave any lasting impact. So I guess things are happening, and I guess things were happening in Hazelwood Girl too. And the things there that has lasting impact, we're gonna read about it for the following days. Like, sometimes it takes her a couple of days to, like, complete these quests or figure out the answers to the questions, which can be personal things too, and also her trying to, like, figure out who this spectator is. And then, like, all the things, like, going on in town. And also, like, she has anxieties about, like, she makes friends with this cool girl who goes to a different school in the area called MJ, who wants to start a rock band, and then, like, her boyfriend is a drummer, I think, and he goes to Poppy's school, so she's, like, scared that he's gonna, like tell them that, like, people at their school have decided, like, you're not allowed to, like, talk to her, you're not allowed to hang out with her, like, freeze her out. So she has these, like, anxieties that, like, she loves hanging out with them, but she's also always anxious that Bo, I think his name is going to, like, tell MJ that we can't actually hang out with Poppy, like, Poppy isn't allowed to be around. So, like, she has both, like, happy stuff and anxious stuff, and, like, that follows through the entire story, while, like, everything here is, like, we have the intro, and we have the stuff in the intro, then, like, we tie all those stuff up, and then we have, and Fake Dates and Mooncakes is a fake dating story about Dylan and Theo, and Dylan, he's living with his aunt and cousins, and his aunt runs is it Singaporean? I think Singaporean takeout, and they're struggling financially, and then on a delivery run he delivers food and gets like shoot out by the guy he's delivering to, and the guy he's assuming to be the guy he's delivering to's boyfriend kind of like the day after comes to apologize, and then like they start talking and he realizes that they're not like dating, it's his they're friends or something, or they're friends, but he comes to kind of like apologize for his best friend's like behavior towards him when he came with their delivery, because they finds it's like unacceptable, and he start talking, and like they kind of like mentions offhand like, oh, like if a miracle happened, it would be like if we got like $5,000 until like before the end of the week or something, and then they get like an anonymous donation of like $5,000, and he realized that it's Theo who did it, and he was like, I have to repay this somehow, like you can't just give us $5,000, and Theo asks him to be like his fake date to one of his relatives' weddings, so like they want to try to like set him up with other like, I guess like people. He doesn't want his family to like meddle in his love life, so he asks Dylan like, okay, if you want to repay me, you can join me as like my date to this wedding. And then so like we have the intro stuff, then we have like the wedding stuff, and then we have now the stuff afterwards, and it's like everything that happens at the wedding, like the things that could be like cause conflict, because obviously old stories need a conflict, like it's tied up at the wedding, and then the one like it's one thing that follows afterwards, and then that is tied up super quickly, and now we're on to the like a whole other thing, and it's like, yeah, like because we tied up, like there's not gonna be any more problems about the things we already fixed, because we already fixed it, and it's like it more feels like separate parts put after each other than like a one continuous thing. It's like we have the same characters in different, like the different things they're doing, like chronologically, but we don't have anything from like, we have like very few things from the beginning, like the setup that ties into like things that happen at the wedding, and then like after they've been at the wedding, like very few things from the wedding are like things that continue in like the both like the relationship stuff, like a little bit of it, but like both the relationship stuff and like the, as I said, like the potential conflict, like very little of that continues the next part, and then like the thing that does and also the new like conflict that is created in this like new next section is like tied up in just a couple of pages, and Dylan is also like, he and his aunt is like entering through this mooncake making contest to hopefully give their restaurant like good publicity, so that like people want to come and like eat at the restaurant, and that's gonna help them with their like monetary issues. Their money issues. So we're like at the part where they're prepping for this mooncake contest, but like everything else is already neatly tied up, and we have like 60 pages left to go, and like all conflict other than like, are they gonna win this competition and save the restaurant, is tied up. I feel like I don't know, maybe something's gonna show up, but it feels like it's just very choppy, and it's also like they start talking and immediately tell each other the information that we like kind of need, without like super upfront, no fluff in between. It just very much felt like information dumping, and yeah, the book needs more fluff, and I think it could do with like 100 more pages. It isn't horrible, unless something very drastic happens. It's gonna be a 3-star read, which is still good. I definitely have 3-star reads that like I would definitely like reread. I don't think this is gonna be one of those though. I'm not sure yet though, but yeah, I I recently heard someone saying such good things about this on Instagram, so I was like actually a bit excited about reading it. And then now I'm like, huh. Like, of course people can enjoy it. But I guess what I said was that it was cute. And it is cute. It just doesn't tie it all together very well. So it just makes it feel like nothing is happening. And there's nothing to be anticipated, like, about happening. You don't sit there, like, kicking your feet and giggling, waiting for, like, these moments to happen, because, like, there's no build-up, it feels like. Because it's like, oh, now this is happening, and then that is happening. So, cute book. If it sounds like something you'd want to read. There's a cute dog. And it wasn't a sale. One of the reasons I picked it up was because there's a cute corgi on the cover. And the corgi is called Clover. And she's a rescue. And like, that is cute. But I'm kind of glad I picked this up on the sale. So I didn't pay full price for this. Because I paid 99 Swedish kronor, so like around $9 for this book, and it's a British edition. It does have the original British price printed on the back, which was £8.99. So I paid around, maybe a little less actually, than the original price point, what it would have costed in England to buy this book. Because this was on the bookseller's book sale, it has a big price tag that says what the regular price is and then what the sale price is. So I would have originally paid the equivalent of $18 for this book if I bought it full price. And I'm very glad I didn't do that, because it just feels like, it feels more like a draft, I guess, than a finished book. Like, all the parts are there. And they're there in the correct order. Now you just need to fill it out and make it fun and polish it to make it great. And I feel like that step was maybe not done as much as I would have liked. But it's not a bad book, it's just... I have read almost 100 books this year alone. So... something like that is going to, like, annoy me. If you haven't read a lot of books, maybe that's not something you're gonna pick up on. And obviously, like, I'm not a writer, and it is hard to connect stuff and things like that. I know that, but yeah, those are my thoughts on that book. The second book I am reading is a reread, and I love this entire series. Oh, I guess I haven't read the fourth book. That's why I'm doing a reread. The fourth book came out on the 1st of November, and I picked it up in store. I picked up one for Bella too, and then delivered to her house. And I was gonna start reading it, and I realized it's been 5 years since the third book came out in this series. And I did do a reread of the first book for like the third time earlier this year. And now I'm doing a reread of the second book, which is a struggle because there's a lot of stuff in the second book that triggers me, like, are triggers for my anxiety and also my anger. There's a lot of stuff. Okay, so I should probably start with what the series is actually in the book. So the book I'm rereading is Wundersmith, The Calling of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. I know it wasn't J, and then it was Townsend. I couldn't remember her name. Jessica Townsend. I'm pretty sure it's an Australian author, but this is like a middle grade magic series. I love this series. It's like whimsical in the best way, and I just fly through it. It's amazing. I'm still obsessed. Like, I read the first book when I was like 16, maybe. Got obsessed. Second book came out later, like the year after I read this. I got it for Christmas. First book, so I read it for Christmas. Then the second book came out later the year following. I read that, and then the third book came out in 2020. And now in 2025, we finally got Silverborn, which is the fourth book. And then I had to wait a couple of extra months for it to get a Swedish translation. Since I have the rest of the books in Swedish, I want to keep collecting the series in Swedish. But yeah. So now I'm rereading Wundersmith, so that I can remember what is happening. And there's a lot of things. So I guess I should start with Nevermore. What Nevermore is. Nevermore follows a girl called Morgan Crow, who is a cursed child. Meaning that both she like brings bad luck. I did talk about this book in my my book theme training chit chat from April. I filmed it in April. I think I released it in May. But I dedicate the month of April to reading or finishing a book a day. So I decided to do a book themed training chit chat. But yeah, it follows a girl called Morgan Crow. She's a cursed child, which means that she brings bad luck to her, like the vicinity around her, but also like things she says. So like if she comments on the weather, then there might be like a weather-related catastrophe, like hailstorms that destroy houses or stuff. So she's very alone. People are scared of being around her, and she also causes a lot of problems for her dad, who is a politician, because it's like opinions would kind of be negative towards him because his daughter brings ill fortune to the entire like state they live in. But another thing about cursed children is that they're born on a day called the Dark Eve, which happens once every 12 years, and then they're destined to die on the next Dark Eve, so 12 years later. But for some reason, this Dark Eve is a year early, so it shows up on what will be Morgan's 11th birthday. But before the Hunt of Smoke and Shadow, which is what comes to like on the Dark Eve, that's gonna how do you say? Like the Hunt of Smoke and Shadow comes to like take her away, but she is on the Dark Eve. But she's saved last minute by a man called Jupiter North, who whisks her away to this place called Nevermore, a secret city, I guess, and where she's safe from the Hunt of Smoke and Shadow. And Jupiter is a member of this secret society, but like this society, I guess. It's secretive, but people know of it, called the Wunder Society. And he wants to enter her as a candidate to become like one of the 9 new members for next year. Because every year like 9 people are allowed to enter the society. And he wants to sponsor her as like he wants to be a sponsor and like mentor, and hope that she gets into this society. And if she does, she'll be able to, you know, stay in Nevermore where she's safe. And the first book is like her going through these trials to be allowed to become a member of the Wunder Society, or association. I don't know if it's an association or society. I read the Swedish translation. I think it's the Wunder Society. And obviously then the second book is like, I guess a spoiler alert, but she gets into the society. And the second book is about like her first year at the society, and there are, without spoilers, like all the people in the association have a thing that makes them special. It could be power, for example. like one of the people Morgan competes against in the trials is a girl who has a magic voice that like sounds fantastic, and she can like sing and things happen. But there could also be like skills that you've learned. For example, she makes friends with a boy called Hawthorne, who is a dragon rider, and he's trained in dragon riding. So like he doesn't have a specific ability he's born with, and there's also like a person she competes with who's like, it can also be like physical stuff, and she competes a bit. Like one boy has like a dog's head, and there's a girl who has like a tail that she can use to like climb stuff and swing from stuff and like do all these acrobatic skills. But Morgan doesn't have a thing. She's convinced the one thing she has is that she's cursed. She brings bad luck. Why would such an exclusive society which brings, you know, if you're a member of it, you get all these privileges in your life. Why would they want someone who brings bad luck? So she's very stressed. And like at the very end, we find out what her thing is. And in the second book, there's a lot of stuff at the school where she has a teacher in a subject she takes, and she's like the only student in this class. I think that would be very common considering there's only 9 students every year in this entire school, and there are like hundreds of different subjects based on like what someone's specific thing is, so that they can hone it and become like what the society needs them to be. So I don't think that's that weird, but she's the only student, and this teacher hates her because of what she is, and literally in their first lesson tells her that she deserves to die. Like, he explicitly says that. And without getting into too personal stuff, I have a lot of struggles with mistreatment of students and children by teachers. That's something that's very triggering to me. So that is a book that I love this series, but that book is very hard to get through because of these things. But I'm like 60% through now on my reread, and I mean, I love this series, and I'm excited to do my first reread of Holopox, which is the 3rd book. And then I can finally get on to read Silverborn, which I waited for 5 years. But I'm super excited. And it's a series I highly recommend, either if you like love like magical school books or middle grade, or if you have a kid or multiple kids that are like ages 9 to 12. I highly recommend this series. It's super magical, it's super fun. Yeah. So yeah, I guess, should I continue talking about my books? Should I talk about other stuff? I don't know. We could talk about how there's gonna be like apparently a bazaar like every week this month. I don't know how I feel about that. 'Cause why? Like, people have been saying that there are bazaars too often already, with one a month, and now they're doing one a week. That feels like the wrong direction, if you ask me. But I guess they're experimenting. And I guess we're also getting other stuff every week. It's not like the bazaar is the update, which has been a thing occasionally in the past, where like that's the main thing. It's mostly gonna be the horses and clothes. So yeah, I'm not gonna shop at the bazaar. I'm just gonna be upfront about it. I don't care what horses to put on there. I need to save my star coins for winter. And also, this month we're getting another collaboration with H&M for the H&M all in question wear stuff. I think it used to be called H&M Wheel of Horses, and it's like changed its name after H&M All In, the horse who was in the game you can buy, and he's gonna be coming back. So if you forgot to buy him or you missed him or he wasn't playing yet, you can buy him. And they're also gonna do another horse who I can't remember the name of, but it looks super similar. And there's also someone point out that they maybe should have done another one of the H&M horses that is like a different color and not a bay. And I would like to see that too. I'm still gonna buy the one that we're getting that I don't have, but they're gonna be so similar. But it's a limited edition horse and I want it. And that is my problem. So yeah. But I mean, it's fun that they do collaborations. I miss when they did those. Like the ones I weren't excited about like whatsoever. I wasn't interested in like the Dolly style collaboration they had many years ago because I had like a short interest in Dolly style when I was like 12 in 2014 when they like first emerged, and they had like 2 songs. But correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think a single one of the original members are still in Dolly style. Because I swear their faces are way too different to be the same people. And I think the original band only ever, or group or whatever you want to call them, only did 2 songs, which would be Hello Hi, their like debut song that they competed in the Melodifestivalen with, and then they had a song called Cherry Gum. I think after that, I still think 2 of the original members were in there. I don't know, because I kind of outgrew them very quickly after I found them, because I got into my teens and I wasn't really interested anymore. But by the point that this starts to be a collab, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not interested in this type of music anymore, and also like, am I the only one who kind of feels like it feels disingenuous when you have had a group and like they all had stage names and then like members leave and then they get new members, but those members take the name? Because I'm pretty sure that what's happened. Like I think when they call like Holly, Molly, and Polly, and it wasn't Polly the one with purple hair. And I think, I don't know who it was, but I swear it was Polly. I don't know. I just saw him a couple years later. It's like, that person looks very different from how I remember. Like, face structure different. So, like, if you're gonna replace people, don't take the original people's name. It feels distasteful. So, like, I would probably not have an opinion, but that just... It felt off and it felt distasteful. Even though it wasn't interesting music. And I guess, like, they've been successful. They're, like, kids' books about them now. So I guess like, children really like them, which, you know, great for them. But I remember, like, I kind of liked the other songs, kind of outgrew them, but had nothing against them. But then I saw that and I was like, I swear this is not the same person. But it's using the, like, color scheme and name of the original person. Don't know how I feel about that. That feels disingenuine. But like once again, like I'm way too old to be their target audience, so I guess I was within the target audience when they first started out in 2014. But once again, I don't think a single one of the original members are still in it. And also, I didn't care about the Jojo Siva collaboration. Didn't know anything about her. Don't care anything about her. Now we got some cute ribbons for our horse. Like, yeah, is there really anything else to add? But I did enjoy the DreamWorks collaboration they had. And the H&M we love. Like, I love when they have horse-themed collaborations. That's what we should have. That's what's great. Like, I honestly, like, And while you could only get these, I guess, in like Sweden, maybe neighboring countries as well. I don't know what an area Hux is a thing, but Hux is this store that sells like horse gear and equestrian clothing and stuff, and also have like stuff for dogs and, you know, the stable and whatever, like everything horse related. And Store Stable, you know, made a collaboration with them many years ago to do a line of equestrian clothing. Like it was a pair of riding leggings, a knitted sweater, a polo shirt, like a slightly padded vest, and then like a warm like hat with a pom-pom on top. And I have one of everything except the pants, but that's a lie. I have one item of like each category in one colorway except the pants. Never got the riding leggings, but I have the hat in dark blue. I have the collared shirt, polo shirt I think you call it, in dark blue, navy blue, marine blue. We call it marine blue in Swedish. It's navy blue. With navy blue, and then I have it in the sweater in grey, and the vest only came in navy blue, so I have that navy blue too. We're gonna make hay while we're here. So yeah, there's just so many stuff. Like, that's a fun collaboration. That's a real life collaboration, right? I would have loved to get the horse poop candle just for sake of having it. I wasn't able to in time. It's a lot, because I think the day dropped, if I remember. I don't know, I can't remember if it was like, if I missed it, or also the day after it was like I was in class and I wasn't gonna order a horse poop smelling candle in class in front of my classmates, like while in a lecture. I can't remember. But I didn't get that, and I'm sad about it. Yeah, that should be enough. Should we make some more powder while we're here? Because we're about to run out. So I don't have that. I don't know, like maybe I should do this on my Instagram, but maybe I should show all the like real life Store Stable stuff I own. Would that be fun? Like, would you like to see that on my Instagram story sometime? Because I have like pencil cases and clothing. I have a couple of things from their like web store. Predominantly like shirts that don't fit me anymore because I'm not 15 anymore, or 14. I think I was 14. But I still have them because I love them. And then like I obviously have the books I have talked about before. Like I have the Ultimate Guidebook from like 2017. I have the Clouds of Silver Glade comic book. I have all of the Soul Rider books. I have the Moral and Stable books. I have like magazines. I have all of the Star Stable magazines, like the the Star Stable magazine ones. I have all the later editions, which was like in 2018 to like 2020 maybe, as Star Stable cassette magazines. I have Star Trek Legacy video games and stuff. So I have a bunch of stuff that I collected over the years. Definitely not everything. I knew there at some point was like a calendar, a wall calendar with Star Stable art. I never saw it, I just heard people talk about it, and I wasn't able to get my hands on it, so... And that was like in, I think like early 2018 I heard people talk about that. So like, I don't have that. No, I don't have the writing pads, but I have a bunch of stuff, so I don't know, would that be interesting? Then that's probably gonna be on my Instagram, which I guess, great time to do a shout out. If you aren't already, please consider following me on Instagram. I'm Kajsa there too. I post Star Stable photos, and then I post a little bit of everything on my stories, from photos of my pets to my books I'm reading to like nature photos and just reposting other people's amazing photos and edits and reels, and also I post like my struggles, like when I was editing Tuesday's video, CapCut had a glitch and I had a minor meltdown over it because one of the like animations I need to like transfer from like my intro to the main video, it wasn't showing up because they like added a bunch of new animations and then like that one wasn't showing up, and I was restarting CapCut like 5, 6, 7 times. I was opening an old project that used that animation and it could show me that there was an animation there, but then when I went to look, it was like, no, there's no animation. Animation doesn't exist. Please use other animation or pay for like extended library more. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And I was saying there, like, is this the day when I buy another editing software? And I went to look at the price point for DaVinci Resolve, and it's like 3,000 Swedish kronor, like $300. I was like, not in my price range right now, but Sony Vegas Pro has a Black Friday sale. So I did that, but it's still like, and because I want something with a pay once. Like, I don't want a subscription. I'm never gonna get CapCut Pro because it's a subscription. I don't want to be paying monthly. I don't want to be paying annually for more things than I have to, or monthly. So I want an editing software. Because I think it is a when question, honestly. When I upgrade to a better editing software, I'm getting one that has a pay once option, which DaVinci Resolve has, but it's super expensive, and Sony Vegas Pro has, but it's also expensive, but not as expensive, and that's currently on sale. So if I do that now, it would be Sony Vegas Pro, but I'm not sure. I eventually got CapCut to work, but I had a minor meltdown over like, and it was also like Monday evening and I hadn't edited the video yet, and I sat down to edit and like the editing software was like, no. And at that point I was like, please, for the love of everything, to the point that I was like, I'm not even gonna try to make a thumbnail tonight. And then I just set my alarm early, Tuesday morning, or earlier and early, pretty early for me. My videos go up 11 AM my time, usually. So, ooh, we have gotten next one. So we're slowly working on it. It would be great to get the jacket, but I don't know how long we would need to be recording for that, and it's probably already boring for you guys. But yeah, I was like freaking out. So yeah, if you wanna know more about what I'm up to in real time, consider following me on Instagram. This is the longest pitch I've probably ever done. Pretty bad pitching. I literally took classes on how to make good pitches, obviously for like pitching your video games to publishers and investors, but like a good pitch is short. This is the opposite of short. I'm so excited for Christmas and the winter event in game. But I was dog sitting. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in one of the videos since, but I was dog sitting last week, Monday through Wednesday. So I guess it's a week now since my last day of dog sitting. And I was dog sitting for Bella. I was dog sitting one of her dogs, and then she like gave me some gifts when she came back as like a thank you. And one of those is this super cozy hoodie. It's like the softest blanket material ever, like one of those like fuzzy soft blankets. It's like that material, and it's both the inside and the outside, and it's just so big and cozy, and it has reindeers, like red-nosed reindeers, obviously Rudolph, like all over it. And I was wearing that and my sweats, and then I was like walking around my house, and I was eating gingerbreads. And I was like, Christmas. And it hadn't even been Halloween yet at that point. I was there like a day before Halloween walking around my house in a Christmas hoodie, eating gingerbread and being like, the holiday spirit. And then I had to remind myself that Halloween hadn't even been yet. But at least I don't live in America, because you have another holiday before you can start being like, it's Christmas vibes. Because people are gonna be like, I've seen the people online, it's like, Thanksgiving haven't been already. Thank whatever that we don't have Thanksgiving. I cannot deal with the annoying people enough. That's just... I can't deal with annoying people. It's like, no, this holiday hasn't been ready. I was like, I feel the Christmas spirit. I can feel the Christmas spirit in July. I think I'm gonna hold it in November. I kind of want to read some Christmas spirit books. Oh, more book news. I ordered a Christmas themed book box. It's from one, I guess, a Swedish minor publishing house. A small, like, I think it's an indie publishing house. Can you call a publishing house indie? If you can, they are. Because they're like run by some people out of their house. And it's called SSO Förlag, and they do like seasonal book boxes where you get signed books and you get like goodies. And I might have snagged one of their winter boxes, and I'm very excited. And also snagged an additional book. I added on a book that was on sale. That sounded really good. Because they announced that they're gonna do like a new cover design for that book, and I liked the new cover better, but the book was on sale for like 74 kronor, and they only had 2 copies left, and I was like, you know what, might prefer the new cover, but that price point can't be beat. And I might have looked up what it would cost to buy it from a major bookseller instead of their own website, and it was like 200 kronor. So I was like, you know what? We're buying this. Yeah. We're buying the edition. I don't like the cover. I don't hate the cover. It's like very romance book cover with real people on the cover. That's the thing I don't like. I don't like real people on my book covers. But I feel, especially, like, we don't have a lot of like shirtless people in romance books in Swedish romance, but we have a lot of real people, and I've never liked it. It's always been one of the reasons I don't read a lot of, I didn't used to read a lot of romance. And then we obviously got like I'm not, I guess, like, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of like cartoon covers either, but it did get me to start reading more romance books. But also I like object covers. I guess like an example for my shelf would be from Lukov with Love. I have the original cover, and it's just, we have like the ice of an ice skating rink. It's figure skaters I see it about, and then there's like a bouquet of roses laying on the ice. Like, that is fine. I don't want real people. What are these real people doing on my fictional book? Please get them off. But I do prefer people using real people on the cover and photographs than using AI. Because I've seen, not from Sedov, but I was in a bookstore and I saw a book and I swear that cover was AI. And then I looked up the publishing house and I tried to find information about like if there was an artist listed. Because I saw it in a bookstore. I didn't recognize there was AI first. I saw the book. And then I kept thinking about it when I wasn't at the bookstore. So I went to the bookstore's website to look at the book, and I couldn't find any information about like a cover artist. But this bookstore, it's Academy Bokhandeln. They usually don't list like cover artists in the listing of the books on the website. So I tried to go to the publisher's website, and this is like this author's own publishing house. So once again, this is not SSO Förlag. This is not about SSO Förlag. This is about another publishing house, a smaller publishing house. And I saw many other book covers, both by this author and other people published on this imprint, and it looks very AI. And I don't care how well written a book is. If it has AI on the cover, I can't instinctively trust that there wouldn't be potential AI in the book, and I'm just not gonna take that risk, and I'm just not gonna read your books. I also think it's about respect. If you can't respect other people's, like, if you can't respect other art forms done by other people, why should you expect people to respect your art form? Like, literature is art. I think that's something that we have started to value books as art less, it feels like. Not sure if it's true, but I feel like we don't value art as much. And we more look at books like, well, yeah, we don't value art as much. That's like underpaid artists. That is a thing I think we're all aware of. But it also I'm on a segue. But it also feels like we more look at like it's about owning the book sometimes. And I'm very big, I've talked about this, I'm very big on owning my media physically, because then it can't be taken from me in the same way a digital project can. So I understand that as well, but also to appreciate the literature for the art it is. And if you... we have... Is it just me, or does that look like a pair of handcuffs? That feels inappropriate. I haven't taken anything. I think I was contemplating the skirt because it's cute and the eye patch because it's cool, but then I didn't get anything. But you know, it's gonna be here forever. I can go grab it. At least forever, to my knowledge. But oh, that skirt is so cute, and the jacket. I'm so excited about this stuff. What time is it? It's only 1 p.m. Which means I've been recording for a long while. But yeah, if you as an author, which is someone who creates a type of art, when, you know, especially writing fiction, or well, yeah, when writing fiction, that is a type of art. If you can't respect other fields within the art, how can you expect other people to respect your art? And it is just disrespectful to use generative AI. And I don't know if generative AI was there. But it looked extremely AI generated, and I couldn't find any information anywhere about a potential cover artist that could, like, because obviously you can fake a cover artist name, but when there isn't even one listed, it feels shady. And since I was trying to do more research and I couldn't, I just decided to, like, I'm not gonna read books by that author, because I can't trust that AI wasn't used in the process, in either the cover, or if AI is used in the cover, then I wouldn't be able to trust that AI hadn't been used in the writing process either. Generative AI has no place in our art spaces. And yeah, I don't think there's any excuse for it. So yeah, since I can't tell with those books that author is not, but that now we got very sad tones. But I was very excited about my book box, which is always, once again, it's on Sudafrolog, and I can't find any signs of, personally not find any signs of AI in their covers or anywhere. Obviously I'm not an expert, but even looking at covers, because like I used to be able, when I was younger, do people like around my age, do you remember like the Photoshop style? Like that used to be what we were looking at for when I was a kid. It was like, is this photo photoshopped? And there were certain styles a Photoshop photo would have. And sometimes that style, but even softer, I would describe it. Looks like is what like AI is emulating. So it's a step further. But sometimes when you see that same like photoshopped style of photos, which that's how you make like when you have book covers with like real people on it. It's obviously not a photo taken in that setting. It's like edited. The background's from one place and the person's from one place, and you might change like slight color stuff and stuff like that. So when something looks, sometimes I can tell it's like, does this look like AI or does this look like it's just Photoshop? And like obviously there's gonna be Photoshop or equivalent to Photoshop involved when you make a book cover with real people on it. And then I used to like zoom in and look like this, like, does the stuff add up? Does it make sense? Is it logical? That's the thing to look for with AI. And for all those things, I'd be like, yeah, it is logical. So this looks like it's a photoshopped photo and not an AI photo. So I've seen like signs of like Photoshop in cover art from like stuff like, but that is to be expected. That's how book covers are made. So personally, I've not seen any signs of AI there, and I'm very excited about my book box. It's gonna arrive in the middle. It said it's gonna ship. It said in the middle of November. So, and it ships from I think Gothenburg, which isn't super close to where I live, but also isn't like an entire country away. It used to be closer. I used to live a lot closer to Gothenburg. Like I didn't live close to Gothenburg, but like less than a full day's travel to get there. I don't know, it's not a full day, but it's like majority of a day. It was like a couple of hours. But now I live even more hours away. So yeah, it's probably gonna take like a day of shipping or two, I think, to get here from Gothenburg. So I'm excited. So it's probably gonna arrive somewhere in the middle of November. I'm very excited to get my books, and I feel like I'm gonna just read them immediately because from experience, by the time December rolls around, I'm not in the mood for Christmas books. This is the season for Christmas books for me. When I'm trying to get into where I'm in the beginning of my Christmas mood. So I guess if you have any good Christmas book recs, leave them. I'm gonna be checking them out. I usually don't read a lot of Christmas books, but I mean I've bought 3 that are on their way, and I might have thrifted 1. Okay, the book I thrifted is A Nightmare Before Christmas, and it's obviously like the titles just spin on the Nightmare Before Christmas, so it's both like Halloween and Christmas. So I feel like that is definitely the perfect time to read now, because I'm in between Halloween and Christmas. It's by Sarah Rosh, I think, or Rash? Rash sounds wrong, it's Rosh probably. Sarah Rosh. I thrifted that, so I was like, you know what, I wanna try this out. I don't have super high expectations for that book. But I think it's gonna be a cute, fun read. But maybe I have to wait a little bit because as I've already talked extensively about in this video, Fake Dates and Mooncakes by Shirley is just a cute book, and I fear it might give me a book, like a reading slump for specifically cute books. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But I fear that. So I think to read on something cute after this, it needs to be like really well executed. I don't know how long I've been recording for, especially since I've been recording in 2 sessions. But maybe it's time to end this video, or I'm gonna hate myself when I'm editing this and have to sit here for like hours to listen to like audio levels and stuff. And I might have cheated a little bit with Tuesday's video because I listened sporadically instead of fully because it was so late and I was so mad at CapCut. So if there are any flaws in Tuesday's video, I apologize now for it, because I was just so mad at CapCut. I couldn't sit there for a full hour. I did the I cut out some parts that I needed to knew from the recording session needed to be cut out, and then I just listened a little bit here and there to make sure like overall the audio was fine. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and that you got to train your horses, and that went well. Obviously I got my horse to level 10, and I got to talk about everything and nothing at the same time. Or everything and anything, as I said in English, right? Yeah, everything and anything. So thank you so much. Hope you did enjoy this video. Please consider leaving a like, and leave a comment. Tell me your thoughts about the bazaars and the H&M like collaboration, because I did briefly touch on that, and I would like to hear other people in the community's thoughts on that. So please consider leaving a comment about that, or tell me about a book you've recently read, or that you're excited to read, or that you're currently reading, because I always love discussing books with people. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I post videos every Tuesday and Friday. Most of them are stressable videos, but occasionally I do something else. And I do very, very much appreciate everyone who does subscribe. It means the world to me. Whenever I see a notification that someone has subscribed, I'm like, oh, someone liked me enough to stick around? Oh my god. Could never imagine this happening. So crazy that it's already over 50 of you. But yeah, once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I guess I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye!